18 black R&B female singers who were sex addicts. What if the most soulful voices of our generation were hiding the darkest, most insatiable secrets right behind closed doors? We idolize legendary R&B queens for their empowering anthems and flawless stage presence, completely unaware that many of them were secretly spiraling into devastating sex addictions. From illicit backstage hotel encounters to scandalous betrayals that shattered entire musical empires, the crushing pressure of global fame pushed these iconic divas to seek incredibly dangerous thrills in the shadows. We are finally pulling back the velvet curtain to expose the unbelievable hidden lives of the music industry's absolute biggest stars. Before we dive into these jaw-dropping confessions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below to support Melanin Spotlight. Let us know which singer's dark secrets shocked you the most. Beyoncé, 44 in her age now. Beyoncé, now 44 years old, stands as an untouchable titan of pop and R&B. With empire-building hits like Drunk in Love, she has seamlessly blended hip-hop with vibrant soul-stirring melodies, transforming every stage into a majestic kingdom where millions of fans lose themselves in absolute frenzy. To the world, she is the flawless Queen Bey, an emblem of perfection, fierce independence, and unwavering power. However, the brighter the spotlight, the darker the shadows it casts. Behind the dazzling, heavily guarded aura of her 2008 marriage to hip-hop mogul Jay-Z lies a complex tapestry of emotional scars. When explosive infidelity scandals rocked her marriage in 2014, Beyoncé famously channeled her heartbreak into the empowering visual masterpiece, Lemonade. Yet beneath that fierce public response, a much different hidden narrative was brewing behind the scenes. Long before the world knew her as a fiercely loyal wife, during the absolute peak of Destiny's Child in 2000, rumors circulated of a brief, hidden fling with a fellow R&B singer. By 2003, while generating massive heat with Sean Paul on the set of Baby Boy, whispers emerged of another secret romance blossoming backstage. As her solo career exploded and she embarked on colossal global tours, the murmurs only intensified, with insiders claiming she was frequently spotted vanishing into luxury hotels with different companions deep into the night. Psychologists examining the grueling demands of her monumental career have suggested a startling perspective. In a suffocating world where she is relentlessly pressured to maintain an utterly flawless image, these alleged relentless affairs became her clandestine rebellion. It was a desperate mechanism to reclaim her personal power, assert her freedom, and recharge her fierce persona amidst the suffocating storms of global fame. While the public continues to worship her radiant, unbreakable surface, these hidden stories suggest a deeply vulnerable woman who sought refuge in fleeting passions just to survive the crushing weight of her own crown. Rihanna, 38, age now. Rihanna, who is now 38 years old, is a revolutionary force in the modern music industry. With monumental anthems like Umbrella, she completely conquered the globe, seamlessly fusing hip-hop, R&B, and reggae into an entirely irreplaceable cultural icon. To the masses, she is a fierce, unapologetic billionaire entrepreneur who effortlessly commands every room she enters. However, behind the endless accolades, glittering awards, and million-dollar stadium stages, her private life has been a turbulent maze of highly complex relationships that few truly understand. The public narrative often starts with her deeply publicized 2007 romance with Chris Brown, a seemingly perfect fairy tale that tragically crumbled under the heavy weight of domestic violence. Yet the story goes much deeper. Whispers in the industry claim that in 2008, while recording the blockbuster album Good Girl Gone Bad in New York, she found herself caught in a secret fling with hip-hop mogul Jay-Z. Seeking stability after her traumatic split from Brown, she frequently found comfort in the arms of Drake between 2010 and 2016. But whenever she felt too settled, the restless energy returned. In 2015, she reportedly used recording studios as a stress relief haven, engaging in a passionate romance with Travis Scott, even when she appeared calm and grounded. Stepping out with billionaire Hassan Jamil in 2017. The quiet life could never hold her for long. By 2019, she was spotted getting close with A$AP Rocky on a Los Angeles video set, finally taking their magnetic connection public in 2020. Psychologists analyzing her relentless romantic journey suggest she has constantly been torn between a fierce craving for absolute freedom and a deep burning desire for intense emotional connection. These wildly shifting affairs often acted as a temporary balm for her deepest emotional scars, proving that even the ultimate bad girl is driven by an unquenchable thirst for passion. Whitney Houston, die age 48 in 2012. Whitney Houston, who tragically died at the age of 48 in 2012, possessed a towering, once-in-a-generation voice that completely reshaped the landscape of contemporary music. Hailed globally as an untouchable musical icon, she brought timeless classics like "Saving All My Love for You" to the masses, flawlessly blending soaring gospel elements with smooth R&B to dominate the charts. For years, she was universally adored as America's unbreakable pop angel. Unfortunately, that same beautiful angel was secretly burning her own wings in a desperate search for emotional salvation. While her legendary battles with substance abuse were highly documented, her tumultuous romantic life hid an equally destructive craving. As early as 1984, Houston was secretly getting close to Jermaine Jackson, followed by a swift transition to Eddie Murphy in 1987 as she desperately sought an escape from dead-end emotional ties. When she married R&B bad boy Bobby Brown in 1992, the world assumed she had finally found her safe harbor. Instead, the relationship quickly devolved into a highly toxic, chaotic whirlwind. Unable to find peace at home, she began looking elsewhere. In 1996, while filming in Los Angeles, she reportedly began sneaking around with Ray J, completely ignoring Brown's looming presence. The reckless escapades only intensified over time. During the 2000 recording sessions for My Love Is Your Love, she became deeply entangled with a high-profile producer. Even after her devastating divorce, an emotionally drained Houston still fell into brief, intense affairs, including a hidden romance with an R&B singer in 2009, who helped orchestrate her final comeback attempt. Psychologists noted that she constantly sought the immediate comfort of physical intimacy to fill a terrifying emptiness, battered by the crushing pressures of global fame. Each rushed affair only pulled her deeper into the abyss, leaving behind the tragic legacy of a vocal queen who desperately chased love to the very end. Aretha Franklin, die age 76 in 2018. Aretha Franklin, who passed away at the age of 76 in 2018, remains the undisputed queen of soul. With her earth-shattering vocal power, she famously transformed respect into an immortal feminist anthem, dominating the charts and winning countless Grammys. To the world, she was an immovable pillar of strength and absolute feminine independence. However, behind that commanding voice lay a chaotic, hidden private world that neither immense wealth nor global fame could successfully conceal. The turbulence began in 1961 when she married her highly controlling manager, Ted White. While the public believed she had safely settled down, the reality was entirely different. In 1967, during the very recording sessions that produced the legendary track Respect, Aretha began a secret, passionate affair with a prominent Atlantic Records producer. As White aggressively tightened his grip on her life and career, she consistently found ways to slip through the cracks, frequently vanishing from the studio late at night, only to return the next morning as if nothing had ever happened. After their marriage inevitably crumbled, the relentless pattern continued. By 1969, she was publicly dating her new manager, Ken Cunningham. Even after having a child together, the relationship could not anchor her restless spirit. Whenever a deep emptiness crept in, she would leave him entirely helpless, quietly seeking the fleeting warmth of strangers during long, exhausting tour nights. Desperate for genuine stability, she married famous actor Glenn Turman in 1978. But by a 1980 Detroit tour, she was already caught up in another secret escape with a pianist. Psychologists later asserted that Aretha suffered from a severe sex addiction. The crushing, relentless pressures of motherhood, the heavy burden of maintaining her musical throne, and a terrifying fear of loneliness drove her into these hidden affairs. For the Queen of Soul, the stage was never quite enough. The dark nights backstage provided the ultimate release, a place where she could temporarily feel desired without carrying the weight of her heavy crown. Tina Turner, die Age 83 in 2023. Tina Turner, the undisputed queen of rock and roll, passed away in 2023 at the age of 83, leaving behind a monumental legacy that redefined the power of a black woman on the global stage. Known for her steely voice and fiery, high-octane performances, she was one of R&B's greatest weapons before conquering the worlds of rock and pop. From her early hits like A Fool in Love in 1960, she dominated every stage she touched, outshining rivals and selling out tours across America and Europe. Yet behind the dazzling aura of her success lay a life marked by deep scars and a hidden world of secret affairs that she used as both a shield and a rebellion. Early in her R&B journey in 1959, Tina reportedly sought a shot at the spotlight by falling into the arms of an older singer, proving early on that she would do whatever it took to stand under the stage lights. In 1962, she married Ike Turner, the man who would skyrocket her to fame while simultaneously turning their domestic life into a terrifying living hell. For nearly 2 decades, she endured endless beatings, clinging to the stage as her only true lifeline. In 1970, during a tour in Memphis, Tina briefly tasted freedom by engaging in a secret affair with a band musician. A small act of rebellion that led to further abuse when discovered. Some believe she wasn't just addicted to love, but to the sheer thrill of the forbidden as a way to fight back against her restraint. After finally divorcing Ike in 1978, Tina vanished briefly before re-emerging in London in 1980. Where she sought key leads in a relationship with a wealthy producer. Even as her career reached legendary heights, her personal desires remained intense. After her explosive 1985 Live Aid performance, rumors swirled of a passionate night spent with Mick Jagger. Though she finally found her final harbor with Erwin Bach in 2013, experts believe her old wounds fueled a lifelong addiction to the rush of romance. A desperate need to feel alive and reclaimed. Diana Ross, 82. Age now. Diana Ross, the legendary face of Motown, is now 82 years old and remains a symbol of ultimate glamour and poise. She brought the Motown label to its absolute peak with timeless hits like Ain't No Mountain High Enough, transforming soul and pop into her personal kingdom. On stage, she was always radiant and proud, convincing the world she held everything in her hands. However, beneath the glittering gowns and the countless gold records, Diana was often lost in a complex maze of desire and power-driven relationships that she had no intention of escaping. Her journey into this hidden world began in 1965 during her early Motown days. when she reportedly fell into the arms of a fellow singer, disappearing into the studio only to emerge the next morning with her sweet voice untouched. In 1971, she married the polished Robert Ellis Silberstein, a move that suggested stability to the public. Yet by 1973, she was deeply entangled in a secret affair with Berry Gordy, the mogul, who had lifted her from a backup singer to the queen of the label. Insiders claim Diana didn't just seek intimacy. She used these affairs to maintain her status and hold on to power, as younger faces began to threaten her throne. After her marriage to Silberstein rotted and ended, she married Norwegian adventurer Arne Næss Jr. in 1985. While the world thought she had found peace, she shocked the industry in 1988 by getting entangled with Gene Simmons, the infamous rocker from Kiss, during a European tour. Despite the news breaking, Diana remained unbothered, viewing a brief night of pleasure as a necessary stress reliever for her high-pressure life. Following her divorce from Ness in 2000, she continued her pattern publicly, dating a wealthy New York businessman in 2005. For Diana, these hurried nights and nameless flings were a way to prove she still controlled her own life, hiding her addiction to the thrill of romance behind a mask of makeup and applause. Mary J. Blige, 55 age now. Mary J. Blige, now 55 years old, is universally revered as the undisputed queen of hip-hop soul. Blending gritty hip-hop beats with profound, agonizing R&B vocals, she turned Real Love into a generational classic and left fans worldwide completely spellbound. Overcoming countless devastating career scandals, she always stood strong in the public eye. Yet there was one deeply guarded secret she fought to keep hidden, a relentless string of quiet, desperate affairs tucked safely away behind every exhausting tour and blinding spotlight. The turbulence began in 1992 when Mary dove headfirst into a highly volatile relationship with Kai Haley, the rebellious lead voice of Jodeci. Their bond was famously toxic, marked by explosive fights, completely trashed hotel rooms, and terrifying jealous rages. Despite the severe emotional toll, she simply could not walk away, with insiders claiming their intense physical connection kept her completely chained. By 1996, while still deeply entangled with Kai, she was swept up in a brief, highly publicized fling with rap legend Tupac Shakur. Following late-night studio sessions, tabloids buzzed wildly about their secret trysts, yet Mary took the stage completely unfazed. Desperate to salvage her scandal-tarnished image, she married her manager, Kendu Isaacs, in 2003. But the suffocating pressures of her career pushed her right back into old habits. During a 2005 New York tour, she secretly reunited with Kai in hotel rooms, giving Kendu ultimate reason to rage. After a brutally expensive decade-long divorce, many assumed her romantic saga was finally over, until she appeared with a wealthy Los Angeles businessman in 2019. Psychologists analyzing her chaotic journey concluded she was battling a severe sex addiction. Beaten down by industry rumors and financial stumbles, Mary reportedly used men as a way to breathe a temporary physical anchor to prove she was still powerful, desirable, and alive. Alicia Keys, 45, age now. Alicia Keys, now 45 years old, is a titan of R&B, whose mesmerizing debut with Fallin' elevated neo-soul and hip-hop soul to unprecedented heights. To the public, she has always maintained an elegant, poised facade. Yet behind this sophisticated image lies a history of tangled relationships that few truly understand. Her journey began with a long-term partnership with Carey Brothers Jr. in 2002, a collaboration that birthed timeless hits, but the stability of their bond was reportedly shattered during a 2005 European tour. It It was there that she was allegedly caught in a secret fling with Justin Timberlake, a scandal that quietly ended her relationship with brothers and set the stage for her next controversial chapter. In 2008, she moved on to Swizz Beatz, a relationship that ignited a massive media storm because he was still married to singer Mashonda at the time. Despite the public outcry, the couple wed in 2010. But according to insiders, marriage did not entirely quell her burning desires. In 2015, while recording her album, here she was reportedly involved with yet another hip-hop singer in secret. Psychologists examining her life have suggested that these hidden passions were more than just romance. They acted as a vital stress reliever and a necessary stimulant to ignite her creative spark amidst the crushing pressures of the industry. While she remains a celebrated star, these secret affairs suggest a woman who struggles to stay with anyone for long, using the heat of forbidden romance to fuel the fire of her music. Missy Elliott, 54, age now. Missy Elliott is an undeniable genius and a revolutionary force in hip-hop, having shaped the industry with legendary hits like Work It and 1 Minute Man. Now, 54 years old, she is admired for her visionary production and boundary-pushing style. But behind the dazzling stage lights, she has navigated a complex and secretive maze of romantic affairs with both men and women. In 1997, while building a musical empire with her close collaborator Timbaland, she reportedly hooked up with the rapper Trina right under his nose, leading to a major fallout and explosive arguments within their inner circle. By 2002, her restless heart moved on to Faith Evans. While the two were working together in New York, though, the romance was short-lived. Throughout the years that followed, Missy was frequently seen at luxury hotels with various partners carefully guarding her privacy while indulging in the thrill of intimacy. In 2015, she was again linked to a fellow rebel Lil' Kim during a joint music project. Though she has never chosen to marry, her list of relationships is said to be endless, spanning both genders and driven by a deep-seated need for the rush of new connections. Psychologists have suggested that Missy may have used these affairs as a tool for sexual power, asserting her dominance in the notoriously male-driven world of hip-hop. For the queen of innovation, these secret romantic entanglements were the hidden engine behind her control and her timeless hits. Queen Latifah, 56, age now. Queen Latifah stands as a rock-solid monument in the world of hip-hop and entertainment, a symbol of absolute strength, who expanded her massive influence from the classic Ladies First into a global empire of acting, producing, and hosting. To many, she is an unbreakable powerhouse, a woman who paved the way for generations of female artists with her cool, collected demeanor. Yet behind that tough, unshakable exterior, she reportedly navigated a complex and endless sexual maze that served as a hidden refuge from the blinding lights of fame. In 1995, she fell deeply for the rebellious R&B singer Mon Fe, an intense connection that served as an escape from her grueling tour schedules. However, that was only the beginning of a cycle of shifting romantic entanglements. Just days after that relationship dissolved in 1998, Latifah turned her attention to her personal trainer, Jeanette Jenkins, continuing a pattern of seeking intense physical and emotional bonds. While she later sought a more public form of stability with choreographer Ebony Nichols in 2008, the quiet life could not entirely quench her thirst for forbidden thrills. In 2012, while filming in Los Angeles, she was reportedly caught in a secret, passionate affair with an unnamed R&B singer. This restless journey continued as recently as 2018, when she dove into another hidden romance with a jazz producer during the recording of a new album, once again stirring up her inner circle. Psychologists analyzing her life have suggested that these frequent affairs were not a sign of emotional weakness, but rather a necessary mechanism to cope with the immense pressure of maintaining her powerful, armor-clad image in the hip-hop world. For Latifah, these passionate nights were a temporary escape from the relentless stress of her throne, allowing her to briefly discard the weight of being a global symbol of strength. Whether these secret chapters left her truly rejuvenated or simply more exhausted remains a mystery hidden behind her cool, composed persona. Lauryn Hill, 50 age now. Lauryn Hill, the undisputed queen of neo-soul, forever altered the landscape of music in the 1990s with her legendary masterpiece, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. While the world hailed her as a spiritual savior of R&B, she was quietly chaining herself to a relentless and turbulent storm of romances behind the scenes. Her complex journey began in 1996 through a high-profile relationship with Rohan Marley, with whom she bore 5 children, a life that many assumed would finally bring her a sense of lasting stability. However, even as her iconic album took shape in 1998, she reportedly found herself unable to resist a secret high-tension affair with her Fugees bandmate Wyclef Jean. This hidden betrayal ignited massive internal fires that eventually pushed the legendary group toward a permanent, devastating breaking point. After her long-term split from Marley in 2009, Lauryn's restless romantic journey showed no signs of slowing down. In 2011, during a grueling European tour, she allegedly embarked on a new romance with a producer, seeking comfort amidst the chaos of her professional life. By 2015, she was again seen hand in hand with a fellow neo-soul musician at various shows, stirring up intense public buzz and curiosity. Experts observing her behavioral patterns have suggested that Lauryn was caught in a repetitive game of romance to fill profound emotional voids and reclaim a sense of control. For her, love was not just about closeness. It was a desperate way to relieve the crushing stress of single motherhood and the agonizing process of artistic creation. To Lauryn, boundaries were merely temporary hurdles to be cleared as she navigated each stormy new chapter, proving that even a global icon of wisdom struggles with the deep shadows of her own heart. Aaliyah died aged 22 in 2001. Aaliyah, who tragically passed away at just 22 years old in 2001, will forever be remembered as the angelic princess of R&B. With her velvety voice and groundbreaking hits like One in a Million, she seamlessly fused pop and hip-hop soul, completely dominating the charts and defining an entire generation of modern music. To her millions of adoring fans, she was a flawless, untouchable icon of effortless cool and youthful grace. However, behind her signature dark sunglasses and dazzling stage presence, her private life was a deeply suffocating maze of incredibly complex romances that the public rarely saw. The turbulence began dangerously early. Stepping into the cutthroat music industry as a young teenager, she was quickly swept into an intense, highly controversial world. By 1994, while recording the album Age Ain't Nothing But a Number in Chicago, the 15-year-old prodigy famously entered into a secret illegal marriage with her older mentor, R. Kelly. Although the scandalous union was quickly exposed and officially annulled, the emotional chaos did not end there. In 1995, she reportedly sought comfort with a Bad Boy Records musician, decisively cutting her final toxic ties with Kelly in the process. As her solo career skyrocketed into the new millennium, she seemingly found a stable anchor with hip-hop mogul Damon Dash in 2000. Yet, industry rumors stubbornly persisted that during a high-profile music video shoot in New York that exact same year, she secretly engaged in a hidden encounter with rap superstar Jay-Z. Psychologists analyzing her tragically short life suggest that these overlapping passionate affairs were not merely teenage rebellion. Pushed to grow up entirely too fast under the crushing, relentless pressure of early fame, Aaliyah reportedly used rapid romances as a desperate shield to soothe her terrifying fears of being controlled. Leaving behind a brilliant legacy as mysterious as it is beautiful. Etta James died aged 73 in 2012. Etta James, the legendary matriarch of blues and soul who passed away at the age of 73 in 2012, possessed a roaring, explosive vocal tone that could bring any packed audience to its absolute knees. Best known for the timeless sweeping romantic anthem, At Last, she soared to the incredible heights of fame, standing shoulder to shoulder with musical giants and turning legendary recording studios into her personal triumphant battlefields. Yet the fiercely talented woman, who sang so beautifully about finally finding lasting love, was secretly trapped in a reckless, agonizing spiral of brief escapades and profound heartbreak. Her hidden turmoil began almost immediately when she officially joined Chess Records in 1955. Desperate to survive the viciously competitive male-dominated industry, she allegedly engaged in a highly scandalous affair with a prominent producer, reportedly using her physical allure to secure crucial contracts and precious recording hours. In 1958, she married her first husband in a desperate attempt to stabilize her incredibly chaotic world. But the domestic peace was merely an illusion. By 1959, she had fallen deeply into severe drug addiction and during a massive Los Angeles tour, threw herself passionately into the arms of a seasoned guitarist. When her husband inevitably walked away, Etta simply rushed back to Chicago, drowning her profound sorrows in wild, relentless parties, filled with liquor and an endless parade of men. Even her subsequent 1969 marriage to artist Mills could not completely tame her incredibly restless spirit. In 1975, amidst completely sold-out international tours, she was caught sneaking around with a fellow singer, turning backstage areas and lonely hotel rooms into safe spaces for fleeting, fiery romances. Doctors eventually diagnosed her with severe sex addiction, a heartbreaking compulsion rooted in a deeply violent childhood and exacerbated by heavy substance abuse. Seeking out strangers was her tragic, desperate way of convincing herself that she still held ultimate control over her own shattered life. Toni Braxton, 58 age now. Toni Braxton, now 58 years old, is the voice that defined a generation of heartbreak with the soul-shattering Unbreak My Heart. With her signature smoky contralto and a glamorous high-fashion persona, she became the ultimate R&B diva, blending gospel and pop into a seductive chart-topping formula. Yet beneath the layers of Grammy Awards and adoring crowds, her life was often a high-stakes balancing act between professional triumph and personal turmoil. Behind the velvet curtains, the woman who sang about mending hearts was reportedly navigating a complex maze of relationships that the public rarely fully understood. In 1990, as her star ascended, she was frequently seen with Eddie Murphy, diving into the fast-paced allure of Hollywood. By the late 90s, while her music dominated the world, she was linked to NFL star Curtis Martin. This was a period of intense financial crisis for the star, and many insiders believed her romantic choices were often a way to reclaim a sense of power and security in a world that felt like it was slipping through her fingers. Her 2001 marriage to Carrie Lewis seemed like a stable anchor, yet the pressures of showbiz continued to weigh heavily. The most controversial chapter began in 2010, when she started working with the mogul Birdman. What started as a studio collaboration allegedly turned into a secret escape from her crumbling marriage, leading to her 2013 divorce. Reports from that era suggest she frequently moved from one brief encounter to the next, with some even claiming a sex addiction was her way of coping with bankruptcy and industry demands. To her fans, she remained a calm icon, but these fleeting romances were perhaps the silent medicine that kept her voice's fire alive. She used passion as a lifeline, proving she would never truly ever fall. Erykah Badu, 55 age now. Erykah Badu, the 55-year-old high priestess of neo-soul, is more than just a singer. She is a musical sorceress who broke every mold with her debut On and On. For 3 decades, she has held a unique throne, blending hip-hop, jazz, and R&B into a mystical experience that has left millions obsessed. Yet the same enigmatic energy that fuels her art has often manifested as an insatiable, restless thirst for love. Behind her mesmerizing melodies and incense-scented performances lies a life defined by a relentless cycle of high-profile, often overlapping romances. The journey began in 1995, when she met Andre 3000, a connection so profound, it seemed destined to last forever. However, even as they shared a son, rumors suggested she was already seeking a secret forbidden flame with the rapper Common by 1998. This pattern of intense rapid transitions continued when she moved on to the gritty energy of the DOC in 2000, followed by a deeply secretive 5-year relationship with Jay Electronica starting in 2004. Even when she appeared settled, the pull of a new spark was reportedly undeniable, leading to sightings with various producers backstage during European tours. Public speculation has often labeled her a sex addict, suggesting she needs the constant heat of new romance as a vital catalyst for her creativity. Doctors observing her path hinted that these affairs were not mere whims, but an essential part of her life's fabric. She didn't seek marriage or permanent promises. She sought the raw electricity of connection to keep her neo-soul flame burning bright. Erykah Badu moves through the world without ever looking back at the lovers scattered in her wake, leaving everyone captivated by a life steeped in passionate ecstasy and a creative fire that refuses to go out. Chaka Khan, 73 age now. Chaka Khan, now 73 years old, remains the undisputed queen of funk. With her explosive energy and soaring vocals, hits like "I'm Every Woman" became the ultimate anthems of female empowerment for an entire generation. Leading the band Rufus to the top of the Billboard charts, she was a blazing fire on stage, commanding unparalleled respect across the music industry. However, when the dazzling stage lights dimmed, the legendary funk diva reportedly burned herself out in a series of intoxicating hidden nights. Her turbulent romantic journey began early. In 1970, at just 20 years old, she married Hassan Khan, but the relationship collapsed within a single year. During late-night Chicago shows, stories circulated that she had fallen into a guitarist's arms, completely ignoring the shocked whispers of her own band. Hoping for stability, she married Richard Holland in 1976. Yet as her solo career soared to massive new heights in 1978, she secretly hooked up with a Los Angeles producer. The studio environment grew incredibly tense. Rufus began to fracture, and her husband was left furious. Still, Chaka simply smiled, recorded her legendary tracks, and vanished into luxury hotel rooms. Following her divorce, she famously dated over a dozen people openly in 1985, turning every red carpet into a launchpad for her next thrill. Even after a 2001 marriage to Doug Rashid, the fiery pattern continued. During a packed 2005 international tour, she was caught with a fellow R&B singer. Doctors analyzing her highly chaotic lifestyle concluded she suffered from a severe sex addiction. For Chaka, these reckless affairs were not just fleeting romances. They were the essential catalysts she desperately needed to keep her soul burning and the funk alive long after the spotlight faded. Jennifer Hudson, 44 age now. Jennifer Hudson, who is now 44 years old, possesses a towering gospel voice that completely conquered both the Grammy and Academy Awards. Her unparalleled talent made the entire world bow in absolute awe, while her incredible resilience transformed her into a glowing symbol of triumph over adversity. Fans genuinely believed her life was full of radiant light. But behind the deafening applause, her private world was never quite as simple as it appeared on the glamorous stage. In 2008, she married David Otunga, seemingly finding a rock-solid, dependable anchor in the chaotic entertainment industry. Tragically, her world was suddenly shattered by the horrific, unimaginable murder of her family members. Psychologists strongly believe this devastating trauma opened a deep emotional crack, leading to a series of highly secretive, romantic escapades. Desperately seeking a way to cope with her profound grief, her behavior reportedly shifted. In 2014, while working on a film project in her hometown of Chicago, Jennifer threw herself into a secret, passionate affair with the rapper Common, despite still being a married woman. This hidden betrayal served as the final straw, pushing her marriage to an inevitable, highly publicized collapse in 2017. Yet the emotional turbulence did not end with the divorce papers. Soon after officially leaving Otunga, she unapologetically appeared with Common again in 2018. The relentless search for comfort continued into 2020, when she was reportedly caught sneaking around with a gospel musician far outside the recording studio. Experts suggest Jennifer desperately sought profound healing through these constantly shifting relationships. Driven by an unbearable emptiness, she seemingly used intense romantic connections as a temporary balm, relying on fleeting physical passions to soothe the agonizing pain of a loss that no award could ever heal. Lisa Left Eye Lopes died age 30 in 2002. Lisa Left Eye Lopes, who tragically died at the age of 30 in 2002, was the ultimate rebellious icon of the groundbreaking group TLC. With her razor-sharp rap verses and fearless attitude, she made an indelible mark on hits like Creep, embodying a fierce brand of female empowerment deeply tied to personal freedom. However, beneath her wildly colorful exterior lay a profound inner conflict. Behind the multi-platinum records, her life was entirely consumed by highly volatile relationships and devastating scandals that ultimately defined her tragic legacy. Her incredibly chaotic journey began in 1993, when she entered a notoriously toxic relationship with athlete Andre Rison. The romance was an absolute roller coaster of extreme highs and terrifying lows. In 1995, during a massive TLC tour stop in Los Angeles, Lisa reportedly fell straight into the arms of rap legend Tupac Shakur. This highly secretive affair planted the dangerous seeds of an unforgettable tragedy. When Rison inevitably discovered the betrayal, it sparked a violent, explosive clash between the couple. The horrifying aftermath resulted in Lisa setting a fire that completely destroyed Rison's mansion, permanently cementing her reputation as the music industry's ultimate wild child. While many assumed no one would want to date such an incredibly unpredictable figure, Lisa swiftly proved them wrong. After finally splitting with Rison, she quickly hooked up with a low-key businessman to temporarily escape the spotlight. Yet the dangerous thrill-seeking never truly stopped. In 2001, while shooting a music video in Honduras, a secret affair with a prominent producer was suddenly exposed, shattering her fragile peace. Psychologists suggested Lisa battled a severe sex addiction, drawn to explosive affairs as a desperate escape from the suffocating control of global fame. For her passion was a raging fire that consumed absolutely everything it touched. These jaw-dropping stories leave us with a deeply unsettling question about the brutal reality of the modern entertainment industry. Are these relentless hidden affairs simply the result of reckless personal choices? Or does the suffocating weight of global fame inevitably break a person's soul, forcing them to seek desperate temporary escapes? When a legendary artist is worshipped by millions but feels completely empty inside, is it fair to judge them for using physical intimacy as a desperate survival mechanism? We want to hear your most honest opinions on this highly controversial topic. Do you think the music industry inherently destroys personal lives? Or are these stars fully responsible for their own chaotic actions? Start a massive debate in the comments below, and do not forget to subscribe to Melanin Spotlight for more unbelievable truths